Ohayo gozaimasu, konnichiwa, or konnichiwa, which basically means good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. At least, well, I'm telling you it does. And if you're Japanese, then you probably are said, what the hell did that goof say? Well, what I meant to say was good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon which time you're watching this video. And the reason I'm speaking Japanese is because I'm going to review something today that is Japanese. It is a Japanese Hori Hori. And I did you guys a little bit of an unboxing here earlier on in the year. And I never had a chance to use it because it was wintertime when I got this. And my wife and I traditionally do some flowers throughout the yard. So we do some planting. We've got a strip that's the side of the lawn. And the ground is like harder than a mother-in-law's heart. It's pretty damn hard. And we had, a few of those little digging spades and stuff, little hand trowels or whatever they are, and they would bend and break, and they're POSs. And did a little bit of research, found out that we have this Japanese Hori Hori to take the place of our regular North American hand spade, or whatever you want to call it. Now, Hori Hori is actually a onomatopoeia, which basically means that a word that sounds like what it is. So, boom, that's an onomatopoeia. So it's like a big explosion that sounds loud. Boom, that's an onomatopoeia. So Hori Hori is supposed to sound like digging, that this trowel sounds like what it digs, which is, I guess, Japanese for Hori Hori. So this one here is actually called a BareBones, and I do believe it is made in Japan. And this comes in a couple of different styles. It comes in a style, they each have their walnut handle. The other one is more of a pointy ended, and it's more of a rounded end. And I was going to get that one, but I decided that this one was the one that was going to do. So what we'll do is we'll go over the tabletop, we'll go over some of the stuff on it, and then I will also intersperse this video with some of outside shots of my wife. And I don't know if I have shots of me using it, but my wife is out in the front strip there kind of using it. And yes, I probably will get comments that my wife is way out of my league. And yes, she is way out of my league. Yeah, I'm punched above my weight class with her, guys. So, all right. So let's go over that one. Okay, so I actually have a lot of really good things to say about this Japanese Hori Hori. And if you are a horticulturalist or a gardener or somebody who's just got some flowers or plants in their yard and they want an instrument to use it, I think this is by far a fantastic choice. Okay. Now, the biggest thing that I really, really like about this one is actually, I think, the ergonomics and the fit. Okay, so walnut handle. Now, I don't know how thick a steel this is. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it is pretty darn thick steel. And it's got kind of a dish to it. So when you're actually using this to pry and to kind of dig into the dirt, that's where my other ones would fail a lot, is they would bend and eventually the steel kind of work hardens and it snaps and it breaks off. Or it just bends and then you're just kind of, it never is the same after that, or the handle gets kind of loose on it. Or this one here so far has been fantastic. It is really, really quite strong. It's an amazing piece of steel. Now, I do believe this is Japanese high carbon steel, and but the one thing is, I haven't noticed there's any sort of rust to it, so maybe I'm wrong. I do think I remember reading here someplace that it was a high carbon steel blade, but you know what? I could be wrong. With this here, let's see if I can find a little bit more. So it is, let's just see here. Length they say is 35.1 centimeters by 9.4 by 3.6 centimeters thick. I don't know, just that doesn't seem right. It seems kind of weird here. Let's see if I can find my good old calipers, because that just doesn't seem right to me. We'll have to do a little bit of conversions here, because we've got millimeters. Here we go. So So millimeters, so let's just do the millimeters in width at its widest point. So 54 millimeters, so we got 5.4 millimeters wide. The thickness on it is, so 5.4, 54 millimeters. So the thickness is actually 4.5 millimeters thick. So it's a good thick piece of steel. Now let's measure the two of them here together here. All right, so the handle is 13.5 centimeters. And let's just go with this. Here is, so it's 15, so it's 15, and so 16, so let's go 16 and a half roughly. So 16 and a half plus, what did we say? Oops. So 13 and a half, so yeah, 30, so yeah, she's 30 some centimeters long. So what's that in inches? I'm not sure. But, and 5.4 wide. And, yeah, so that's the dimensions of this bugger. So we can actually take a Spyderco, put it beside there, just to give you guys an idea of the size of this, because a lot of you guys, this is a knife channel. So the Spyderco here is just about as long as the blade here. So that gives you the idea of what the size of it. And just, I don't know, man, really enjoyed using this Hori Hori. You know, it's not super heavy. I'm going to say that, you know, but it has some heft to it, some weight to it. So you could probably do some chopping if you had to with this bugger. But, I mean, you've got a depth gauge here. And I do believe that each one of those is 25 mil or 1 inch. Zero that out. So yes, between your graduated marks here, 25 mil. So they are, so those are each 1 millimeter too. So 1 inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and some inches long. So you definitely got, you know, it's nice if you have to plant something, say 3 inches deep. It's just a matter of, you know, plunging your Hori Hori into, you know, the mark. Now, it's good. These here are actually kind of either cut into the blade or it's molded that way. It's not on the covering, because when this came, this had some sort of almost like a stone washed, I don't know if it was a paint or what the heck it was, but it's mostly rubbed off now. And yeah, you can see here the back handle has got almost like a, I'm not sure what was on here, but it seems like it's doing a really good job protecting this Hori Hori. Now, the other thing that's really good on here is these serrations here are fantastic for cutting. I know when there was some older stuff I had out in the back that was some really gnarly roots of some plants that you have to, you know, annually plant. And the roots are in there quite good, and this went through them no time. And I'm not going to say that this side here is almost like a cutting or a chopping side. It wasn't super sharp to begin with, and it's not super sharp now. And I did try to kind of touch this edge up with a diamond file, and I got a little bit sharper, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this, because if I get this thing cut enough to, you know, to shave or cut paper, it's just a matter of time. It'll kind of go into the ground a couple of times, and it will not, I don't think it will do much for cutting. Now this here, a lot of people think that this is actually a bottle opener, but it's not. It's actually used for cutting open twine. So sometimes, you know, you've got things that are, you know, plants especially that are you know, wrapped in twine, and you just take it out there, give it a pull, and it's supposed to break it open. Now, the only knock that I really have on this Hori Hori is the fact that this walnut handle here is kind of a little bit, oh, maybe it's gone away, but it was a tiny bit, I dropped it a little bit, and it kind of made a funny kind of a buzzing sound, which I didn't really like. Not the end of the world. And I suppose I could, you know, tighten it up here. It looks like it's got some hex, some octagonal screws here, but I didn't like the fact that this is not really a finished handle, and it really, the pores are quite open to this, and when it gets some dirt on it, the handle stays kind of dirty. So I've taken it and I ran it into some water and I washed it off a little bit, and it was really, there was quite a bit of dirt that was impregnated in this handle. So for long term, what I might take to this is just put perhaps some oil on there, or some boiled linseed oil, just to kind of seal that up a little bit. It'll help it last, and I think it'll help it stay, I think, a lot cleaner. Yes, it's a tool for digging in the dirt, but if I can seal and protect this handle up and keep this walnut looking pretty for a long, long time, I think I might end up doing that. So if you are a gardener, I definitely would invest in this Hori Hori. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful tool. In Canada, I mean, it was $36 here Canadian, and that was zero shipping. I ended up getting this on Amazon. In the States, I think you can get these for about 25 bucks, and make sure you get one. I don't think you can go wrong with the thickness of it, the versatility of it, and I don't think you can go wrong with having this piece of steel in your gardening tools or your gardening shed. So thanks so much for stop by, saying hello, and listen to my review of this Hori Hori. Run outside and get one. Now, please, if you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up, as well as subscribe, and don't forget to stay safe out there, because we are not out of the woods yet. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.